Well, I'm not sure, but that looks a lot more like an ATV now than some bug-eyed monster. Oh, shit. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. Well, good evening. I've already been out here working about an hour and a half, but, you know, I just didn't turn the camera on because I got excited. I got really excited. So, tonight is a big night. They're here. It's time to let me be able to see at night while riding Otis, the Outlander. So, let's get into it. Welcome to Town Creek ATV. So, it finally arrived. Cheers to that. By the way, not a sponsor, but if you guys don't have one of these, what do they call this one? The Frost Buddy? Get you one. Best thing ever. Holds big, the big 16s, holds the 12s, holds the skinny minis, holds the bottles, your monster, whatever. Holds it. It even tells you on the bottom what it holds. I mean, you just can't beat it. Not a sponsor, just putting that out there for the world. Any who's and hows on the headlights. Been waiting for this box for 2 weeks now. And there again, just the packaging is astounding. Look at this. Right on top, got your orders. And of course you got your shredded up cardboard to keep them from flipping or flopping around. So let's get these out of the way. Low beam. Low beam. So, my 2 low beams are here. Oh, I'm so excited. Don't drop it on the floor. So, now you may be asking yourself, and I got asked this too, why didn't I order aftermarket? You know, the square LED ones? Well, I'll tell you. This plug, okay, the original plugs are still in there. I really didn't want to cut into it. Not to mention, I just unscrewed this and I can put a different bulb in it. Okay, this one happens to be a HS1. So, if I ever want to upgrade and run LED, that's all I got to do is unscrew them and put LEDs in it. So I didn't really care about friggin' getting aftermarket ones. I'll just buy LED headlights or LED bulbs. Glass. That's the only thing I don't like. They're glass. But I don't plan on running in anybody. And like I said, I'm going to be getting one of those XMR bumpers for the front of this thing. So without further ado, let's do the do. So obviously you can see, got the 3 screw holes here. So it's super simple. Line the headlight up with the screw holes, screw it in, and go from there. 2 in the bottom, 1 in the top. So, you know, just put your triangle in the right orientation. Line them up. Just like that. Run your screws in there. Get at least one started. Second one started. And yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. The screws they sent me are just wood screws. So if you have to order replacements, don't order the fucking stock screws. Just get you some wood screws out of your wood pile. She's in there like swimwear. Now, let's free this wiring harness from its prison up here. There it is. Now, like I said, okay, power's off. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of poke these. Try to get some of the dust and mud out here. That's just terrible. Alright. Some dielectric. Not that. And I just want to apply just a light coating on all 3 prongs, just like that. Slide it over the light. And of course, before I cover it up, let's make sure, see if we got some light in this thing. Got low beam. Of course, that's all I have is low beam. So, okay, this one's good to go. Cover on it. There you go. Now, doesn't that just look a million times better? So now I'm just going to wash, rinse, repeat on the other side. Both in. Factory wiring is back where it wants to be, back home. Got the cap put on there. Now what I'd like to do eventually is look into, okay, how hard is it to install friggin' high beams? You know, do you just tap in, or is there a whole different wiring? Or, you know, like they do on most passenger vehicles, they put a faux plug in there and you just tap into it and it works just like factory. So maybe I'll do my research on that, see if I can get some high beams. But what I want to show you is what I worked on before I came out here, knocked the headlights out, was the winch. Now, I had the winch part of the winch here already. I had it sitting from a previous project. So I jumped on Amazon and grabbed a relay solenoid kit. You know, it was $35, shipped to the house in 2 days. And so with that, got my Badlands 2500 winch hooked up, ready to rock and roll. Plugged it into the factory bolt holes there. Works perfect. Wired up. Everything's tucked up out of the way. That's the solenoid I ordered, the junction box. It came with all those plastic covers and all the wiring to come up here to running my winch up here. So, next part of this video is going to be the lift kit. Just a standard little puck 2-inch lift kit. Just to stiffen the suspension just a little bit. It's a little bit on the stiff side, or a little bit on the sloppy side. It really just when you're riding. So we got to work on that a little bit. So I got a lift kit sitting here. I was going to use my buddy's Honda. But guess we're going to use on the Can-Am. So there we go, guys. So first part of the video is over. Let's get to the next one. Did a little bit of custom work on the exhaust. Very custom, super redneck, because that's what this channel is all about. So I didn't like the fact that I just had a little pipe sticking off, so I went on Amazon, ordered the cheapest black exhaust tip I could find. This is a 5-inch exit. I'm sorry, no, 3-inch exit, and it was a 1.5-inch inlet, which I was hoping would just slide over the original pipe. Nope. So what I did is I ground down the muffler, and I also cut about that much off of the exhaust tip, basically so it would fit in here really nice. And I also put it this direction so I have clearance for the tire. This is a cold start. Hasn't been started since Sunday afternoon. So I don't want to spend $400 on shocks, so we're just going to stiffen it. So other update is I got 2 of these sent to me for $13, so I went ahead and installed these winch cable bumpers. But enough of that. Let's go ahead, get the shop cleaned out, because I need as much space as I can get to work on these. And let's stiffen the suspension up. So you guys have seen me do this lift at least twice, so I'm not going to go through how it works. Pull the spring down, pull your clip out, up spacer in, clip back in, let spring go, reinstall. So I'm just gonna put in a montage, at least for one side. Go from there. So because this one has 2 collars, I'm making sure when I put it back together, I have the slits on both sides opposite each other. This is what it looks like with the spacers installed. You always want your spacers at the top. That's just my personal and professional recommendation. These are really easy to do. This Can-Am puts like real springs in their stuff. So if you have an automotive style press, these are so easy to do versus the Hondas. Same thing in the rear. Got it mounted down here. Spacer up at the top. Looks pretty good. Keep in mind, guys, if your top and bottom mount don't match when you pull them out of the press, all you got to do if you have a little bit of strength is twist the mounts however you need them to twist, and you can get them to line up. Super easy to do. So that's one side. I'm probably gonna turn the camera off for now, get the other side done. We'll mount the tires up, go for a ride. So there it is, lift kit's done. I think it probably only gave it about 1.5 inches of lift because the springs and the shocks were so wore out, which is fine. All I wanted to do was just stiffen the ride a little bit front and rear, and it definitely still has some absorption left, so that's good. So there you go. Now the last thing, just got here literally 5 minutes ago, is the last part of this build. There's no point in doing a separate video on it because it won't take me but 10 minutes to install it. Let's get this back in the shop and finish Otis up. So huge shout out to Liters RPM. I ordered my XMR bumper on Sunday morning, and it's here on Tuesday afternoon. So big, huge thank you to Liters for getting me this bumper super fast. So let's go ahead and get it open and finish up Otis. So very well packaged. I see nuts and bolts down there. It's all wrapped up nice and neat. They got plenty of tape to hold everything together. So let's get it out of the box. Let's figure out how to install this thing. So there we go. So I got the bolts. Beautiful XMR style bumper, and they sent me a sticker, so that's pretty awesome. So let's get this tripod set up and get it on the bike. First thing I got to do is unbolt my nuts and bolts. If you remember from the previous video, I replaced these because I upset somebody seriously about not using proper tools. So let's get these off of here, and let's get that top part done. And then we can move on to the bottom part. Slides right inside. So now I just gotta find a way to get these bolts back through here. Cool. Now I just have to undo my one little, you see I got my little, oops, winch bolts here. I got to get that out. Obviously I won't be using the hardware that they sent me. That's okay. Only took about 37.32% longer than it should, but it's all mounted. At least 3 out of the 4 are hooked up. Got the winch in the way of the other one, so definitely couldn't have that happening, but looks a whole lot better in my opinion. Got the Can-Am sticker there covering up my boo-boo from video number 2 or 1, I think, video 1. So I think it looks pretty good. So let's get out in the sunlight and we'll do a last walk around. Final Otis video. At least for now. Unless someone says, hey dude, do a 6-inch cat post and put 35s on it. Hey, help a brother out. Subscribe, like, comment. You know, the thing. There it is. Otis in his final form. Done and done. At least for now, we'll see. Looks pretty good to me. Well, that's going to do it for part 4, rebuilding Otis. Guys, I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate you. Liking, subscribing, commenting, all that stuff. I appreciate it more than you know. So anyway, keep on doing it, and plenty more content coming. Don't worry, this isn't the end of Town Creek ATV, I promise. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it very much. Peace.